All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We'll be cruising at 35,000 feet for the duration of the flight. I've gone ahead and turned off the seatbelt light, which means you are now free to move about the cabin.
Dear Laura, apropos of your interest in medieval European history, I was wondering if you have read Umberto Eco's novel The Name of the Rose? Sujit.
Dear Sujit, I have read that book. I'm reading a book now about the invention of the calendar and how it changed the way we think about the nature of time. A pear fell through a window of my greenhouse yesterday. The tree wasn't so tall when I built the greenhouse. I don't know when you will get this, since you've already left or on your way back to India. Sincerely, Laura.
Hi, Laura. I would get your message irrespective of where I was located on the globe at any given time. But I am indeed in India now, after a grueling 34 hours in transit. Window to my greenhouse conjures images of pastoral serenity and genteel wealth, a bit like Jane Austen. Regards, Sujit.
Dear Sujit, I've replaced that pane of glass and pruned the tree back. I wonder if Jane ever felt as sore as I do. I read that the belief in time as a linear progression, starting in the distant past and ending at some point in the future, is a recent idea. For ancient Indians, time was seen as an ever-repeating cycle. I feel like a fish that has yet to discover water. On Christmas Eve, I went to a midnight mass. Words seem to have a special power. The Word made flesh. The Word of God. When the lights dimmed and we passed a flame to light each other's candles, and then when everyone sang Silent Night all together, that was the moment of Christmas for me. Sincerely, Laura.
Dear Laura, the Hindus of course have no holy book, no holy church and no pope, although attempts have been made in recent times to furnish us with all three. Your Western traditions are obsessed with the power of the written word. Shakespeare's sonnets are full of it. You will soon be dust and ashes, but my verse will preserve your beauty forever against the ravages of time. Ancient Indians refused to commit their scriptures to writing and preferred to pass them on orally. I will let Shakespeare have the last word on the subject. Since brass, nor stone, nor earth, nor boundless sea, but sad mortality oversways their power, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower? Oh, how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wreckful siege of battering days, when rocks impregnable are not so stout, nor gates of steel so strong, but time decays? O fearful meditation, where, alack, shall time's best jewel from time's swift foot back? Or who the spoil of beauty can forbid? O none, unless this miracle have might, that in black ink my love may still shine bright. Here is a formal invitation in the electronic version of black ink. I would consider myself deeply honored if you were to deem it fit to visit me in Bombay. Warmest regards, Sujit.
Dear Sujit, what speaks more to the soul, a collection of little lines that spell the word love, or a drawing of two people embracing? I guess I'm a romantic. If I were the impulsive sort, I would hop on a plane this very day. Alas, I'm not. But the thought of it gave me a thrill for the day. Best, Laura.
Dear Laura, Preferring the logic of the heart to the reason of the mind is precisely what Romanticism is all about. For Hindus, the universe is the product of the play of Brahman, who should not be confused with your Christian God, who worked so hard at creating the world for 6 days that he had to rest on the 7th. It's a hot and muggy Thursday night in Bombay as I write this. The hum of air conditioners surrounds all. Your friend from the world's most crowded city, Sujit.
Sujit. So, the heart has reasons that reason knows not of. I don't know who said that, but I feel fairly sure you'll tell me it was Shakespeare. I read that emotions such as love and romanticism are nothing more than biological processes, geared simply for the preservation of our gene pool. Isaac Newton might have approved of that idea, but I find it depressing. There must be something more, even inspirational to love. It's the idea that we are willing to believe in something bigger than ourselves. If there's someone out there we can believe in and love who sets the rules for us, then everyone agrees to play by those rules. But then I think, what if this idea of original sin simply came about because St. Augustine was really angry at some woman on the particular day that he was writing out his interpretations of Jesus' teachings? Woe for our collective psyche. Utmost, Laura.
Dear Laura, the fallacy of classical science is the idea that complex entities can be entirely reduced to biological components such as genes. Diderot said, "Look at this egg. How does this mass evolve into a new organism containing life? Through heat. What will generate the heat? Motion. A speck unwinds and turns into intestines, then a beak, wingtips, eyes, feet. The bird emerges, walks, flies, feels pain, runs away, comes back, complains, suffers, loves, desires, enjoys. It is always changing. The bird is an example of a being for itself. Unlike a rock, for example, we are in constant growth, flux and transformation. About the fish discovering water, consider shifting the analogy from fish to wave. The wave is the water. Its separate identity is an illusion. This is at the core of most Eastern spiritual traditions. It is 3:50 in the afternoon on Friday as I write this. The moment I hit the send button, I will go into waiting mode, expecting a reply every hour. Irrational? Of course, but I can't help it. You will, your schedule permitting, read this Wednesday morning. It will be past midnight for me. And what is the first thing I will do when I get up on Thursday morning? Check my email. As Jean-Paul Sartre said somewhere, we all manufacture our own hells. Your spurious friend from halfway around the world, Sujit.
Dear Sujit, reading your letter this Wednesday morning and your accurate prediction of when I would read it gave me a chill. Am I so predictable? I have a cat named Tycho, after the 17th century astronomer Tycho Brahe. For decades, he kept meticulous notes of the comings and goings of the stars and planets. Every observation he made pointed to a heliocentric universe. Yet, he continued to believe that the sun went around the Earth. He actually forced what he saw with his own eyes to fit what he believed. He also, by the way, lost his nose in a duel. My cat Tycho is of the flat-nosed Persian variety. I'm going to a New Year's Eve party and have been told to bring something to smash. I don't own anything that I want to destroy, so I guess I'll go to Goodwill. But shouldn't it be something I have a personal connection to make it more of a meaningful gesture? Am I overthinking this? Perhaps we will, after all, see each other soon, and you will tell me what the Hindus have to say about that. Sincerely, Laura.
Dear Laura, true knowledge can neither be derived from hard evidence nor pure thought. The shift from one paradigm to the next the smashing of the plate on New Year's Eve is necessarily a step that is beyond the purview of reason. Somewhere along the way, in philosophy as in real life, one has to be ready to stake one's entire existence on a belief. Life begins where reason and instinct end. Wouldn't you agree that this is a fair definition of romanticism? Warmest regards, Sujit. Dear Laura, I wrote you a letter a couple of weeks ago about, of all things, romanticism and science. I can't say I'm not worried about your long silence. Have I offended you in some way? I have now broken the 11th commandment, thou shalt not write unless written to. I hope it is not too grievous a sin. In some trepidation, Sujit.
Dear Sujit, I'm sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I went to the New Year's Eve party I told you about, and if I had kept to my rule never to ask a man to dance, I don't think I would have gotten to dance at all. I met a man there, and we've started dating. Sincerely, Laura.
Dear Laura, sorrow is the law of life, says the Buddha. The probability of two people coming together is about as high as the probability of a coin falling on its side. If I may retreat to hide behind Jim Thompson, an author who explained it best, the couples you see walking along together, there was a time for just a few minutes maybe, when all the differences seemed to vanish, and they were just what each other wanted. They looked at each other at a particular moment in a particular place under just the right circumstances, and everything was perfect. The fact that all human peaks appear to be necessarily short-lived might be called the problem of the unsustainable orgasm. The only alternative to this sea of change, of movement and transformation, is death. Every moment is different. And each moment to the next, we are different people. It's the classic illusion of the drop of water that has a being separate from that of the ocean. That is death. It is the expansion in order to encompass the whole of the ocean. That is life.